Hello world. Good morning, Filipinas. Welcome to the Teacher's Voice. This show aims to give teachers the opportunity to talk on air about their unforgettable journeys and thrilling adventures, as well as share their splendid wisdom to inspire and to give hope to our listeners and to our viewers. This show is aired by the Philippine Las Vegas radio station from the heart of Las Vegas every Saturday at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 p.m. Eastern time, and on Sunday in the Philippines at 9 o'clock in the morning. This is one of your co-hosts, Sir Marvin, welcoming you from New York City. And my other co-host is Ma'am Pasit, who is also from New York City. One of our co-hosts, Ma'am Jude, is not with us at the moment, and we're sure that she will find time to catch up with us. Nevertheless, her heart and her mind are with us.
Right.
Okay, let us start this program with a prayer. So we bring our minds and hearts in the presence of the Almighty. Father in heaven, we rejoice and we are glad to have this another opportunity to worship you, even in everything that we do. At this time, Father in heaven, we entrust to you our lives. We entrust to you even, Father God, the gifts that you have provided for us. And even for this time, as we celebrate your goodness and kindness to all the teachers around the world, Father in heaven, we pray that you continue to bring enlightenment to our minds and the strength in the heart of, and then the lives of each of the teachers who are offering their lives in answering to the call into the ministry of teaching and molding the hearts, the minds of the future. This is our prayer in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Very nice. Yeah. Okay. So, thank you very much, Teacher Marvin, for that beautiful prayer. And I would like to take this opportunity to greet our teachers from all over the world, saan man kayo naroon, and especially to our teachers in the Philippines, lalo na yung na apektuhan ng nakaraang bagyo. I hope you're all fine, and I hope your schools will very soon be available for the children, our students, your students that you so passionately care about and for whom you dedicate your teaching lives. Okay, teachers and all over, we salute you and we're grateful to you for all you do para sa ating mga citizens and future part of the world. Thank you very much, teachers.
Our greetings of joy and fondness go to all our hardworking teachers, whether you're in the Philippines or you are teaching in other parts of the world. We are glad to host one more time another episode of the Teacher Voice. This show is for you, and this show celebrates the meaningful journey of every single teacher, both inside and outside the classroom. It is it is in our heart that we feel what's going on in our home country at the moment, and it is with our prayers in our hearts and the wish that everything is going to be fine, and we will all be going back to our respective schools, and everyone will be safe. Mabuhay ang lahat ng mga teachers.
Mabuhay kayong lahat. Okay, in tonight's Teacher's Voice show, we have a really distinguished guest, a friend of mine and a friend of the teachers here in the United States and back home also. Now, her name is Dr. Virgie Cu, and Dr. Cu believes that learning should be fun and accessible to all. At any educational level, at any age, in any subject, be it English, science, or math, music, speech, or dance, covering any type of intelligence. Dr. Cu's teaching journey began at St. John's Swamming in Bacolod City, and it took her to the New York City Department of Education, where she retired recently. It must have been a long but very fruitful journey for this educator, and we will hear about it from her tonight. Dr. Cu is delighted, honored, and grateful to be part of this program, she says, the teacher's voice. And ladies and gentlemen, I would like to present to you my good friend, our good friend, Dr. Virgie Cu. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. Teaching is, being a teacher is the best thing in the world. I taught in Wyoming for 25 years.
Oh.
And in New York City Public School for another 25 years.
What?
Yes. So by the time I retired, my co-teachers were counting. They said 50. I said yes, and it wasn't even enough. After I retired, when the school opened again, I said, why did I retire? I have so much to say.
Mhm.
I know.
In the middle of something, if I forget, then I tell myself, oh, this is why I retired.
Yeah, that's true.
At the top of the game.
Right. Yeah. And you're enjoying yourself now much more, I guess, with your friends and who are now your family. Welcome to the show, Dr. Virgie.
Actually, after I retired, I became a substitute teacher. I couldn't stop teaching, and I couldn't clean up. Friends were saying, okay, so let's rearrange the room, put away the books. I couldn't do that. Until now, I can't do that. This is me, without the books, without teacher. Who am I? I think the best thing I have done in my life is teach. And every time I attended a workshop, I wondered if I can teach this.
Yeah.
And as I grew older, I would say, oh, because I learned from other teachers, attend a workshop, not to learn, but to see how other people are doing it, because they know how to do it. It's like being a cook. I have a friend who in a restaurant would say, okay, you choose what you want to order. And I would say, whatever it is. And she would say, no, because I can cook everything in this menu.
Mm.
So it's like, if you're a teacher, you're wondering, how do I present this? How do I make it accessible? How will they learn and be able to make use of that piece of information?
Mingoy, can we top it? The 50 years that Dr. Virgie had,
Yeah.
spent.
Even just like 2/3 of it, I would be happy already. Something. And yeah, it's true, and I agree with Mom Virgie saying that the life of a teacher actually is a life of a reflection, and that's what Mom Virgie, that's actually what you have been doing every single day. It's like reflecting and how can make this learning accessible and available to my students.
Yeah.
I
In the
have
Philippines, it's music that made me last 25 years. I mean, there was like no time to be bored, no time to stop. It was go, go, go all the time. Until after 25 years, I said, not even counting the years, when my mother passed away, I said, oh, I need rest. And I only asked permission for 6 months absence. I said to babysit my nephew, and I never returned. Monsignor Liu said, So how is this? Is it 6 months or 4 years? Because I couldn't return right away. I had to work on it, and it took me 4 years. How is your math? 6 months or 4 years? But
Yeah.
I tried my best.
Yeah.
Every time I went home, I shared whatever I could in Huaming.
Yeah.
I also gave lectures on writing. You know, by the time I started when I started in New York City, I taught 6th grade. And then later I taught high school. And in high school, this is where I began to think of a community that I should be able to use what I learned for the community. So I did, when I returned home, many times I did for after lecture.
The Balikturo.
Yes, in Balikturo,
Yeah.
writing a memoir. Yes.
Yeah.
So I did that for a week, one summer, another week, next summer. Yes, that was the one I liked most.
Oh, Dr. Virgie, could you please tell us? I'm really, really very interested because I know your life is music, or music is your life. Could you please tell us about your teaching career in Huaming as a music teacher? Could you please tell us about that? Your highlight, your very, very nice experiences, and all that, challenges too.
Yes. So Huaming is St. John's Institute, and this is a Chinese Catholic school. I assisted in preparing the students to sing for the Mass. So that's how it started, the Mass. And then we came across, I came across a workshop in Manila for teaching children's choir. And then my principal was Monsignor Su, and he gave me a clipping. And because at that time I was going to study speech in the Ateneo, he said, you spend your Sundays here. It was a Catholic church in the Union Church of Manila. And there, from Dr. David Yap, I learned so much about children's choir. And it was exciting. The excitement never stopped. The church, the Sunday singing continued, but the children's choir took roots. And then we joined the CCP children's choir competition.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
The very first one. And we were the first school outside of Manila that joined the competition. It was a 3-day audition.
Yeah.
So the children had to be trained too to survive being in Manila and going through that rigorous competition. So there was a 3-day competition, and we made it to top 10. And so we competed, and we made it second place. We were very happy with that second place.
Of course. That's the entire Philippines, I believe.
Yes, and we did it the next year. We did it again. But this time there were other schools from the provinces.
Oh, okay.
And we tied with Saints Co.
Saints Co. Manila.
Also in Bacolod.
Oh, Bacolod. Oh, really?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. Yeah, it was a good experience.
Yes.
Excellent. Thank you.
It was the exciting thing that made me last those 25 years without boredom.
No, that's great. Great to know. Ma'am Virgie, I learned that you started teaching at age 17
Yeah.
with an ETC certificate, right? Can you share with us
Yeah.
what ETC stands for and what area of teaching and learning it covers?
Elementary teacher certificate only after 2 years because they needed teachers.
Right.
Mm.
And the actually I went to La Concepcion College,
Mhm.
and among the graduates, I was hoping I would be able to teach at La Concepcion College, but they said, "Oh, she can't even comb her hair," because at that time teachers looked good. They
Yeah.
had to
Right.
wear heeled shoes, lipstick, and a handbag.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, it was so honorable.
So formal.
Yeah, but I couldn't comb my hair, so I applied at St. John's, and it took me. It took me like three. I went to the school 3 times, and I made several phone calls before they actually accepted me.
Accepted you.
It was like maybe because when you're young, it's like, and maybe I still couldn't comb my hair. But the after 2 years, the choir leader got married and lived
Oh.
in another city. So there was someone who took over. The next person went to London because during those years they were recruiting teachers
Oh,
to
already.
go to London,
Really?
study psychiatry, nursing.
Mhm.
Yes, and that's something I cannot do. So I stayed. It's like it's an exodus of teachers going to London at that time.
Really? Oh, okay.
Yes. There was also another exodus of teachers going to, when the refugees from Vietnam came to
Bataan.
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 So
Yeah.
there was an exodus of teachers that went to Bataan.
Right, right.
Yeah, I couldn't go either because that was the year I finally got a scholarship for music at the University of Hawaii.
Oh, I see.
Yes, but it was that scholarship. It took me three applications, 3 years. So every year I would apply.
Oh, okay.
Somebody said,
Uh-huh.
Virginia is an example of if you fail, try and try again.
Again. Right, right, right.
Yes, it took me 3 tries to be able to get a scholarship.
Wow.
In the beginning, I chose theater, actually. The first time I applied, I chose theater. But, the competition was stiff. They were, the ones from Cebu were already making movies.
Okay.
Yeah. So I couldn't do anything, for stage. But even for music, it was very difficult. The interview, which was supposed to last just 15 minutes, mine was like 45. You have to defend music because Filipinos are musical.
Right, right.
So it's like, why should you go somewhere else to study music? We have music in our hearts.
In our hearts.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's very difficult, but it was a good experience. Yes.
Right, right, right. So you trained in music in Hawaii for how many years?
Yeah, only 1 year. This is a 1 year scholarship.
Okay.
I had a choice to continue, but I said, let me go back to my community as required by the Rotary. This is by the Rotary International.
Okay. All right. That you had to return to Manila to the
Yes,
Philippines and
to
do your-
Bacolod. I have to return to my community.
Correct.
So I did that.
Very
It was
good.
8 years later that I left again for the States. And this time I went to Atlanta, Georgia, because my excuse was to babysit. But after 1 month, I went to New York because a friend called me and said, "Why are you in Georgia? There are jobs in New York
In New
City."
York City.
So right away, I became illegal. And that was the beginning. Now, at that time, I realized, oh, I could not return right away. Yeah, it will take me time, but it's okay. I was able to, in my visits, I helped as much as I could. The last project I did is before COVID, I did the Diamond Jubilee of the school, portraying history through songs and dances. Yes, yeah, but they're good. You can ask the teachers, "Oh, can we have this dance?" The teachers were very cooperative.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I saw your Facebook post about the celebration. I saw them. Yeah.
Uh,
Good.
That was great. That was nice. Mom Virgie, you formed a children's choir while you were teaching in Huaming, Bacolod years ago. And we all love to hear choirs, and more especially so when children are singing in the choir. Please tell us, what are the personal and the professional rewards that you have gained in training these children into discovering and tapping into their musical and singing talents?
when children are in the choir, when they think, as adults later, when they think of school, they do not think right away of their academic endeavors. They think of the times they were on stage. So I think this is a service to the students.
Wow.
This is the joy in their life. The academic endeavors are the struggles, and that makes them successful in life, which is good and admirable. Yes, but the heart sings. Yes, or dances. So it's a joy to recall all the times you were on stage. So I trained them also for orations, declamations. I did those things, and we were very competitive during those years.
Wow.
So it was fun. It was fun, and it's good to be young, to have so much energy for all these activities.
I agree. Yeah.
Exactly.
Very, very nice. Yeah, your life has been very interesting from listening to you about your experiences in Wyoming and in the US. Now, in your bio note that you sent us, you mentioned something like in any subject, be it English, science, etc., covering any type of intelligence. I'm suspecting that you are a subscriber to Gardner's 8 multiple intelligences
7.
theory. Yeah, the multiple intelligences theory.
How can I say this? We just presume that in the arts, all the facets of your personality developed by the intelligences as you experience come into play. They come into play, and you cannot be an actor without being aware, without that smartness. So there are all these intelligences come into play. Even math, they all contribute to your personality. And in music too, it's very difficult. Music is very difficult. That's why I did not stay.
There is so much math in music. There is all these subjects. There are social implications to all these stuff. So that's why it's a wonderful thing to be a teacher, and to learn, to be willing to learn from each other. In all the shows that I presented in the school, I involved all the subject teachers because they all can say something. So it's not like they can't criticize. No, they have to have a say in all these things because they see other things that I will not be able to see. And the children too, they say something. And before a show, I get my cues from the children. The children will say, "Oh, don't, Miss Cu, don't forget this." Yes, so the children themselves take charge. It's very good, right?
Yeah.
But our children's choir was very good at that time because, not because I am so musical or I'm so good, but because we put in drama. So they come on Saturdays for drama training, dramatic children's theater. Yes, so they come for drama. They don't just come for music. And we don't have a permanent accompanist, but we make sure that we had a wonderful accompanist, Mrs. Villasor. She would come and she did not just play beautiful accompaniment, but she could sing. She was a coloratura soprano.
Oh, wow.
And so when she opens her mouth, the children open their eyes. Yes.
Wow.
And the children know that I can't have her most of the time. So they're like very attentive. Oh, we also have very strict discipline. When we are practicing, when Father Sue at that time, he would walk by reading a newspaper.
But
He's not reading the newspaper.
Yeah.
He is listening. Well, he needs to learn from us too. Even diction. In choral music, pronunciation is very important. Yes. Recently, I listened to the magical singers sing Ave Maria.
oh yes, yeah, I saw
And
that.
then
Uh-huh.
I listened to another choir sing Ave Maria. Wow, what a big difference that was. And it is from the way the consonants are formed. It is from the way the entrances are done. It is, they can all sing, yes. Yeah, we can all sing. But whether that is fine music or not depends on the conductor. That I went to church yesterday morning.
Yesterday.
And at the end of the Mass, they asked the children to come to the altar and sing a song. Because during the whole Mass, they weren't there. They were somewhere else. That's the usual thing, right? And they received its instructions. And so when they were singing, it was a shy voice. Okay, everybody likes. No, but there is, when children sing, everyone likes it. Nobody ever says, "Oh, I don't like them." But because I trained children's choir, I said, "Oh, the pitch should have been higher because children, you cannot tell children to sing louder. When you say louder, that's a mistake. You raise the pitch because children's voices are higher.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
And you want louder even? You add more children. If it's a choir, if it's possible, then you have more children. But you never tell them, sing louder. You can say, maybe open your mouth. Yeah, you can say, open your mouth.
Wow.
Wow, that's awesome. Virgie, it is very interesting to note that your pedagogy is a mix of music education and ESL teaching. So
Yes.
in your experience as an ESL teacher, what insights or what gems of practice have you discovered about the special tandem of music and English as a language?
ESL.
Yes. I used singing. I used songs
Mm.
to teach grammar,
Mhm.
pronunciation,
Mm.
rhythm, in the way they talk. I never change the accent because that's the personality of the person.
Mhm.
But we want to make it clear. So we are working for clarity.
Okay.
Yeah. Not to change the way the person speaks,
Your accent.
but we work for clarity.
Mm.
Um, so music, if they learn something else, if they learn, what do they learn in music? They learn diction, and they learn the flow of the music is the flow of the language.
Mhm.
That intonation helps. So it's like one student before asked me, so now are you teaching us to be, because we, not a song, but there was a recitation, there was a poem. And the student said, are you teaching us how to speak in public? I said, if you can speak in public, why not? But you learn this for clarity. So music is fun too. It makes everybody happy, right? Yeah.
Yes, it does.
Singing.
Yeah.
Even those who cannot sing, even those who are
Uh-huh.
so shy and they can't open their mouth,
Uh-huh.
they are, it makes them happy.
Mm.
Singing is for the heart.
I remember I think that was Mingoy, our last taping, a teacher, a Filipino teacher who teaches here in the US was
Mhm.
awarded district teacher of the year in her district. And she is an ESL teacher or special education teacher. And you know what? How she is able to make the children participate and speak and all that, She
Yeah.
brought her karaoke machine
Karaoke. Yeah,
in the
in class.
classroom.
Oh,
And the
yes.
children sing, and so they know the words, they know the spelling, and then sometimes when
Yes.
teachers walk by her room, they also sing with them. That was
Yeah.
really fun, and I really like your style. Yeah, I am okay. Again, teachers who are listening right now, please learn from this lady, Dr. Ku. Very,
And
very,
you are a music teacher by heart too.
yeah.
You.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh well, I integrated music in my math classes
Yes.
and also in my reading classes. Oh yeah, there
That's
is
good.
there is theater always because it's fun, and the
Mhm.
children love to have fun, isn't it?
Yes.
That's
Music is the best.
Yeah, that's true.
right. All
Uh-huh.
right. Yeah. Mom Virgie, you describe yourself as an avid traveler. And please
Yeah.
share with us what is your sense of fulfillment whenever you travel? And also please share with us the ultimate learning experiences that you have
Yeah.
achieved from the different places that you have traveled to.
You know, when you travel and you're retired, it's a frustration because I want to have an audience
Oh.
Yes, so I can teach what I learned.
Mm.
Well, so now I post on Facebook,
All right.
or I post uh, to my family. It's like a teacher always needs an audience.
Mm.
And I've been to a lot of places, and I always think of the people who can benefit from what I am learning now. And sometimes, if it's funny, I even think of my mother, and I would say, "Oh, my mother would enjoy this." But
Oh,
don't everybody? It's like even if you're if you're not a teacher, you would think, "Oh, what I'm experiencing now is something that's somebody I know would enjoy it, isn't it?"
Mm.
it is. It is. Yeah.
Yes, and
Very, very.
travels actually is learning.
Mm.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Yes, I wish they were not so expensive.
That is the only problem, so
Yes,
expensive. Uh-huh. No, Teacher Virgie, you have retired and you are retired and but still enjoying yourself. And it
not
looks to me
tired.
like, huh?
Retired, but not yet tired.
I know. You just had, step back from your career as an educator. Now, what do you think is the future like for you, who is a dedicated, hardworking, passionate educator, in terms of education in the next 5 years or so? What do you think will your life be like?
Yeah, I actually did not. I gave away a lot of my materials, but I have kept some that I thought that I should be able to use. And I want to be able to share to teachers. When I go home, I uh, I give workshops to teachers in Huaming and to schools where I know people. Like I gave a lecture in Silay Institute, you know. And I've given in the museum, I've given memoir workshops. Yes, so and I would someday like to be able to write my life story.
Oh, you better start. You better start while it's fresh.
And now I'm beginning to say, oh, there is a person in close to Wami. There is what we call shopping center. Shopping center in became residential. Now it's beginning to come back to business, but there is a Chinese store in shopping, and the man's name is Badong. He is the owner of this, and so I would tell them, oh, I have two Badong stories, or I have two. Um, this is why I retired. I cannot remember. Bagel. I have two bagel stories, and they would laugh at those bagel stories. So I said, oh, someday I would write my life, but not like a reading from beginning to end, but episodic. So, like two Badong stories or two
Snippets,
bagel
yes, snippets,
stories.
yeah. Snippets of your journey, little bits of pieces here, the
Yeah,
interesting ones, yes.
yeah, and I have now two teacher stories. You know how important the teacher is, even in little things. Like one day I was trying to learn to teach myself to swim because a former student said that I will teach you, but she was late, so I just tried to struggle in the pool. And then, but in this pool, there's a public pool on 25th Street in Manhattan.
Right, right.
And there is a Chinese teacher in swimsuit. You know that she's a teacher because a swimming teacher never goes into the water. They
What
don't.
does she do?
They should just stay there, up there, and give instructions. That's the right way to do it, not to swim and pull or what. No. Isn't that wonderful to learn? Anyway, when this, so I thought that somebody's talking to me. When I looked up, oh, it's the Chinese teacher. And I was surprised that she speaks English. Oh, I said, oh, like me, I speak English. And she told me, so much effort, very small distance. That means I'm like struggling so much, and I travel only a short distance.
Oh, okay, okay.
So she said, oh, she gave me instructions, and I tried to follow the instructions. And when I got up, oh, I traveled some distance. It was far. She said, you see, but right now I cannot remember what that is. I said, I need that teacher. So you see that the teacher gets results if they are good, but not even in the water.
I agree. Very good, very good. Thank
As
you.
a retired teacher, you know, there are courses for retired teachers, right? So I studied pastel painting.
Okay,
I
okay.
never touched pastel before.
Right.
And as an ESL teacher, I was very poor in drawing on the board until a student would go up the board and make corrections. And everybody will say, oh, yes. Before that, that means it was so bad. My drawings are so bad. But I had this art teacher. So I was like struggling to draw an alligator. You know, this, you must have seen this alligator because it's in many calendars. This alligator with a butterfly here and a butterfly here, and that funny eyes, like he's going to swallow the butterfly that's close to his mouth.
Okay.
You know, she said, so what are you going to do with the eyes? And I realized, oh my God, this is very difficult to do. So just by saying something, I don't remember what she said, but 2 hours later, I looked up and I said, oh, I was able to make the eyes, because those eyes were naughty. They were twinkling. And how can you do that? That's very difficult, right?
Mhm.
But she said something I don't remember. I said, that's why I need a teacher.
Teachers are indispensable. We need them
Yes.
all the
Yep.
time. Right, Teacher
Exactly,
Marvin?
They
exactly.
allow you
Yeah,
to
yeah.
make miracles
Yep.
for yourself. Those self miracles,
Yeah.
those small miracles that give you some kind of satisfaction.
Very, very interesting. Well, Teacher Virgie, Teacher Pased,
Yeah.
how we wish we have the luxury of
Longer,
time, but we are down to our last few minutes
correct.
to wrap up our program in this
Uh-huh.
episode. We are so glad to have with us and to share with us the wonderful stories of her life as both a music teacher and ESL teacher.
Uh-huh.
We are so glad to have Mom Virgie with us. It's time for us to share our life's quote.
Okay, let me
Okay?
start. Yeah, let me start.
All right.
Okay.
Mom
Now,
Pased, we'll start.
yeah. Listening to Dr. Virgie's story, I decided to choose this quote from Buzz Aldrin, the second man on the moon.
Mhm.
He said, Dr. Virgie is always open-minded. She always has an open mind. She attends this and that workshop in order to learn more. And Buzz Aldrin says, your mind is like a parachute. If it isn't open, it doesn't work. So teachers, let's keep an open mind all the time. Thank you.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Mom Pased. Mom Virgie, Please share with us your life quote.
My mother once asked me, what is my life's quote? And it was actually a suggestion for her. And I said, you know, gratitude will make you happy. And you cannot have gratitude unless you give yourself. Yes. So you cannot, there is this quote, you can give without loving, but you can't love without.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Thank you.
Very nice. Very nice. Thank you very much, Ma'am Virgie. And my quote is, it's always the quote that I share, proper education is the education of the heart. And what better way for a teacher to bring that education of the heart than to embrace the heart of God? For when teachers embrace the heart of God, they have the love of God, which will allow them to love even the unlovable among the students. Thank you very much. Any last word from Teacher Virgie?
It's teaching is even, you know, when you are in the industry, you must spend your evenings teaching. That's why a lot of lawyers teach at night. A lot of economists, you know, that's whatever your skill is, teach it in the university. Yes. We should all be teachers, actually.
Yes.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
It's a
Very
lifetime
Yeah.
commitment for us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? So thank you once again, Teacher Virgie, for sharing your life, your story, and your journey with the teacher voice. Thank you, Ma'am Pasit. And we're going to see you next week for another episode.
Thank you, Dr. Virgie, for accepting our invitation.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, you're welcome. And
Bye now. I'll see you
Bye.
next episode.
thank you. Bye.